I want you guys to give a very warm welcome to my guys, Jose and Brodny. What's up, fellas?
What's up? What's going on?
How we doing, LBHT?
Doing
Man,
well, man. How you doing? Thanks for having us on.
It's good to see you guys. So, the reason, as you guys know, that I brought you on is because I need a little bit of help previewing this upcoming Ravens and Panthers game. Look, I would be remiss to say and sit here and lie to you guys and say that I watched any of the Panthers preseason game, because I did not. I did see the Terrace Marshall play, though. I will say that, just like everybody else did, right? So I basically have as much knowledge as everybody else does here. So what are you guys thinking, man? Because I know you guys follow these teams close to the vest, and even, you guys are brothers. You guys follow each other's teams so close. You guys are very knowledgeable about your teams. So I am curious what you guys have to say about this upcoming game, this practice that we got going on. Any surprises? Why don't we start off with Brodny? For those that don't know, Panthers fan. So why don't you give us maybe some players that we should be keeping an eye out on here?
As far as in the upcoming game, you want to at wide receiver, you want to keep an eye on C.J. Saunders out of Ohio State, Shi Smith. They both had some nice plays last week, in their last game. With Carolina, man, it's really all coming down to the O-line. Their starters didn't play at all against the Colts. They held everyone out, including Sam Darnold, including J.C. Horn. So if I don't know for sure if they're all playing yet, they haven't really said. If the starters are playing, you're really going to be looking out, like I said, a couple of those receivers, but also the edge rushers in Carolina. That front seven is young, talented, and deep. I know that Baltimore, they didn't play all their starters on the O-line either, but they had a lot of issues on the O-line. And so if Carolina starters play, you're going to be looking at Brian Burns, Hassan Reddick, Gross Matos, Frankie Louvu, Derek Brown, Daquan Jones, Morgan Fox, Jeremy Chin, blitzing. They've got a lot of guys who can really, really get after the quarterback. So in terms of what Ravens fans should be looking at, it's the guys up front protecting against that Carolina pass rush.
Absolutely. So, Jose, before I let you go, man, I feel so rude. I welcomed you guys in here, and I didn't even give you guys a chance to let the people know where they can find you. So please,
that's all good.
Please go ahead and let the people know where they can find your stuff.
Man, I appreciate that, man. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Lunch Break Hot Take. And if you're on social media, we're everywhere, man. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at LBHT Show. We also have a website, lbhtshow.com. We also put our audio podcast on there, B Writes articles. We got all kinds of stuff on the website, man. So, check us out.
For sure. You guys make sure you follow Lunch Break Hot Take everywhere that you get your stuff. So, all right, Jose, what are we expecting, man? I'm sure you followed the Ravens-Saints game, and I'm sure you saw what we saw. The offense looked abysmal and embarrassing.
Yeah.
The offensive line as well. But what are you expecting from this upcoming Panthers preseason matchup we got here?
I think B summed it up, right? I think it's going to be on both sides. It's going to be the D-line versus the O-line, right? I think both teams have some questions at O-line. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, hey, it's just preseason and a lot of our starters didn't play, which is true. But the guys that were playing, they weren't rookies, and some of those guys might end up starting. So, there's some questions there. And even if they're backups, some of those guys you have to expect to play in a rotational role a little bit, right? Because there's 17 games this year, so they're going to be asked to play somewhat. And what we saw on Saturday, it wasn't encouraging. You can't play like that, even as a backup, not in today's NFL. So I want to see if they go out and do better this coming week. And like you said, it's just preseason. It's just week one. This is the time you want to make mistakes. So hopefully they clean up some things. They go out there and play a little bit more organized. The Panthers have a very good defensive line. So it's going to be interesting to see how they hold up. Even their backups are pretty good. So I want to see them perform a little bit better against them. And then, of course, our defensive line against their O-line, I think we're going to have the advantage there. So
yeah. So I'm curious about this, our secondary matchup against these Carolina receivers, right? Yeah. Like I said, We saw what Terrace Marshall is capable of. But, Brodny, are there any more receivers we should be really looking out for this upcoming game?
Yeah, like I said, if the starters play, obviously you got Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore out there, and that would be a great matchup with the Ravens corners, regardless. I mean, I agree with you. I think the Ravens have the best secondary in the league, but DJ and Robbie are very talented, so that'd be a good matchup. They signed David Moore this offseason out of Seattle. He's got a few years experience. He's a good number 3. Like you said, Terrace Marshall, he made a few plays in the game against the Colts. He's been having a pretty decent offseason. And then going down the line again, you got CJ Saunders, like I mentioned before, Shi Smith, who is very agile, very quick. He can separate in just tight spaces. He had a catch down the sideline where he got blasted as soon as he touched the ball. He was able to get his feet down and hold on to it. So, there's a lot of guys in Carolina. What they're kind of doing is bringing in a lot of young players and just letting them compete. There's a lot of opportunity. So you're getting the best shot out of a lot of these players. Outside of them, Tommy Tremble, the tight end that they drafted in the 3rd round, he had a nice game against the Colts. He scored a touchdown, had a few nice catches as well. But for Carolina, again, it's going to be whether or not the O-line can hold up against the Ravens pass rush. And honestly, if Sam Darnold plays, that's going to be a huge advantage for Baltimore. PJ Walker, the backup, he looks like a better player at this point, but it kind of.
I like that guy. I saw him in the XFL with what was it, the Houston Roughnecks, right?
Right. Yeah.
I believe that was their team. Yeah, I was checking that out. PJ Walker was balling out. So, do you actually prefer PJ Walker over Sam Darnold?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Listen. Let's
Sam
go.
Darnold has been in the league for 3 years, and he hasn't shown the ability to be a starting quarterback. He's been one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. I thought they should have taken a flyer on Sam Darnold. I didn't have any problem with that, but they traded a 2nd-round pick plus 2 other picks for him, and then they passed on Justin Fields. And, when you're talking quarterback at the top of the draft, you have to be all in, right? The coaches, the GM, they all, the owner, they all have to agree this is the guy. So if you don't think that's Justin Fields and you want to pass on him, fine. But they showed me that they don't believe in Sam Darnold when they passed on Rashawn Slater as well. So they're not even trying to protect him.
We've had conversations about that. Like, what is their end game, right? With the coaching staff, like what are they trying to accomplish? Because it doesn't seem like they're really behind Sam Darnold. It doesn't really seem like they're interested in building that offense up really at all. I think they're just taking the time, and they wanted to start on the defensive side and then slowly work their way to the offensive side. So I don't know. Like Sam Darnold just doesn't seem like it seems like a stopgap, just like Teddy Bridgewater last year. I thought they should have just stuck with Teddy Bridgewater if that's what they're going to do, but I don't know. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, well, you guys kind of answered my next question. It was going to be about the Panthers quarterbacks because we saw the Ravens' defensive performance against the Saints. We did well against Taysom Hill, did pretty well against Jameis Winston, and of course dominated Ian Book as would be expected. I mean, you guys kind of talked about it. I was going to ask you what you expect from Sam Darnold and all that, but
our defense is going to eat them for lunch, no question. And it's sad because they have great skill positions, man. Like Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, who I wanted the Ravens to draft, and they got Robbie Anderson, another person I wanted us to pick up in free agency. And they drafted Terrace Marshall this year. And he mentioned Shi Smith and Omar Bayless. They're having good camps as well. So they have a lot of firepower on that offense. And even with Sam Darnold, I think they could go further if the O-line could protect them, which they can't. So I expect us to eat.
Yeah. It should be another defensive battle. Probably, both teams under 20 points, I would imagine. That's for sure. So. Yeah. All right, so you guys, I have a question for you. You guys are the masters of the hot take. Would you say that? Would you call yourselves that?
Some people would.
Okay. So, I don't know if you guys heard my hot take a little earlier. I don't think it's super hot. A lot of people kind of disagree with me, but you guys let me know, man. I don't believe Anthony Averett is making this 53-man roster for the Ravens. I just think we have too many defensive backs. We saw how Shaun Wade played. We saw how, Geno Stone, we saw how Ardarius Washington showed up a little bit.
Yeah.
Chris Westry seems to be a guy that they like. So what do you guys think about that take that Anthony Averett is probably not making the 53-man?
I think he makes it. I
Okay.
think he makes it.
Okay.
Look, is Garnett in the chat?
Probably.
He's a
he
big
doesn't
Chris
like
West-
me anymore. Yeah. He doesn't.
he's a big Chris Westry fan. I don't think Chris Westry makes the team.
Okay.
I'm still iffy on Shaun Wade. I had said it on our show that I think he gets cut. We have too many DBs, man.
We do. We do.
And look, they can't all make it. They can't all make it. I think Westry and Wade are in a little bit of trouble. But Wade did play well. He had the interception at the end of the game.
Yep.
That helps, but that doesn't secure a spot on the roster. So
Fair.
Avery, I think makes it. He's proven himself in regular season games, and Harbaugh wants to go with the short thing. He doesn't want to go with question marks. So I think these guys that are late round picks or undrafted that are trying to make a name for themselves on this defense with this secondary, they have to really ball out. So we'll see what happens with the rest of the preseason. If they keep making some plays, interceptions, turnovers, what have you, then they have a shot. But just off of one game, nah, I can't say that.
Fair enough. Brodny, any thoughts there?
Yeah, you mentioned we had talked about it before, and we both said that Shaun Wade would get cut. I don't. Right now, they've cut 3 corners already, right? So
right.
it was the deepest group in the league, and they're kind of thinning out the herd already. But I do agree with Jose. I think that you have Marlon, Humphrey, Marcus Peters, Jimmy Smith, Tavon Young, right? The best top 4 corners in the league, period.
Yep.
But 2 of those guys, like to take a lot of time off, right? So I think once you get past that top 4, they're going to want to have at least one or 2 guys there who they think they can count on. Chris Westry's been having a great offseason. Everybody loves Shaun Wade, but they're going to want somebody who they can plug in there, who's been there before, who they know can go out there and execute the way they want them to. I don't think they're going to go with all brand new corners, in terms of depth. So I think Avery makes it. I think Westry makes it, and I still think Wade is going to be one of the odd men out.
All right. Fair enough, fellas. Well, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I want to thank you all so much for coming on here, man.
Hey, thanks for having us, man. Appreciate you.
Of course. And once again, let the people know about your show, Lunch Break Hot Take. Again, guys, it's a great show. I love watching it because
I appreciate it. Thank you.
People say I give unpopular opinions, but these guys, they have some unpopular opinions. So
we catch some heat. Look, and I'm gonna say this. You didn't mention him, man. Look, there's some pro shade defenders out there. All right, pro shade defenders, and we caught some heat for saying it. We don't think he's gonna make the team.
Wow.
And look, it's okay, guys. We're not rooting against anybody. We root for everybody on the team, but you got to pick your battles, okay? You got to pick your battles. Like, don't fight us on Pro Shade. Don't fight us on Justin Houston. Don't fight us on Chris Westry. Like, just it's all right, guys. Like, we all want them to succeed. We're just giving our opinion. That's all it is. But look, man. Yes, look, the home of the hot takes. It's all good, man. Check us out every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. We also do a overtime show right afterwards for our Patreon members. So sign up for that for as little as $3 a month. All right. LBHTshow.com. That's our website. B writes articles. We put articles up there for sports, video games, what have you. Also, we have a store. We can get this dope merch right here. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
Be part of the LBHT crew. And follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at LBHT Show.
Absolutely. You guys make sure you follow that everywhere you have social media, of course. Jose and Brodny, thank you guys so much for coming on to the show.
Hey, Jose, two of the dopest names in the game. That's what I'm talking about.
That's right. No, nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Appreciate you.
All right, fellas. See you later.